Hey guys, it's Sarah and today is BookList Thursday. This is a video series I do with my friend Lindsey over at Lindsey's Little Library. And every Thursday we bring you some sort of list or book topic that we feel like talking about for the week. And this week we are going to give you some recommendations for some bingeable books. We're about halfway through December. This is kind of when people start getting off for your big Christmas/winter break. And so we thought it'd be fun to give you some recommendations for books that are easy to dive into, completely bingeable. You just don't want to put them down. They're very easy to read. You can fly through them quickly so you can get some fun reading done during the winter break. So I am going to talk about a couple of series and then I'll have a couple standalones in here as well. So we'll start with the series. The first one is the Girl Meets Duke series by Tessa. The reason I want to recommend these is because they're short. They are so much fun. You will fly through them and they're just so good. This is a Regency romance, so, very historical, and it follows women in a group of friends who end up finding their husbands, and each book follows a different friend. There are 3 currently out. The 4th one was supposed to come out earlier this year, but it's been pushed back indefinitely right now, and we haven't heard any other news about it, so I don't know when that's going to be coming. But you have 3 books that you can definitely read. And I loved all 3 of these. I think the second one might have been my favorite because the man in book number 2 is like, I love him so much. He's one of my favorite male characters. He really is. Like, that's my jam. So the way that these women meet their potential love interests is just so sweet, especially the first one. I really loved it. The first one is called The Duchess Deal, and it follows a duke who is looking for a wife. He has just broken off an engagement to the point where, the wedding was planned and things were starting to come together. The dress was made already, but not paid for yet, like that type of thing. The seamstress who made that wedding dress, and now that the wedding's been called off, no one's planning to pay her for her work. And she's like, I put a lot of work into this. We're going to do this. And so she confronts him. She goes to his house and confronts him about this dress is made and I need a payment. And that's how they meet. And he ends up making her a deal. And let me tell you guys, they are so much fun. There's so much modern humor in these books that it was really surprising and it worked really well, because you could go into something like this with modern humor that doesn't really fit, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't fit the times, but her modern humor fit the time still. There are some steamy scenes, so be ready for that. But seriously, all 3 of these books are so much fun. And when I was reading them, I could not put them down. I just flew through them so quickly. So definitely a good bingeable series there. Another bingeable series, if you want to go on something that's not contemporary, I would say the Illuminae series by Aime, Kaufman, and Kristoff. This is a trilogy. These are young adult science fiction, and these move so quickly. Number 1, there's a lot of action. It's completely action-packed in these books, so you just kind of want to keep turning the pages to see what's going to happen. The pages also help it to be quick reads because this is all told in like a multimedia format. So there are lots of text messages and emails and things like this in there, where it really just makes it go by so quickly. The audiobooks for these are amazing. They're full cast, and it really helped me with the reading experience. You don't have to listen to them. I highly recommend them if you want to have that experience, but I actually listened and read these at the same time. So I was sitting down flipping the pages as I was listening to it. That's how I took it in. Highly recommend, but you do whatever you want. But these are, regardless, very thick, like 600-page books that you can get through really quickly. I read this in a day. This whole book I read in one day. Not one sitting, a couple different sittings, but one day I did this. And they're just so much fun and action-packed, and high recommend. Okay, one more that is a duology. So only 2 books, but super fun, quick reads. And that is the American Royal series. This is by Katherine and McGee. This is so much fun. This is a modern take on a royal family. So this is set in America. However, America is not they're under a royal family system. So George Washington, instead of becoming a president where there were votes and all that stuff, he became the first king of America. So instead of doing, the president thing, he decided to go the king way. And then the current people who are in the king and queen role are descendants of George Washington. So that's how it's all going. So it's all the same family and they just keep cycling through. So we are following the 3 children of the current king. There are 2 girls and 1 boy. And you're just like following their antics and what they get into and the expectations that are put upon them and how they handle the fame of being part of the royal family, how they handle relationships, how they deal with things. It's all very, very interesting. And I flew through this. I thought it was fantastic. Another one that I did listen to on audio, I listened to both of them, but they were so fun. And the way that this one ends, you want book 2 up next. There's such a good cliffhanger in here at the end that I was like, book 2 next. I read them back to back. Like I didn't want to stop. And they're fun. They're juicy, gossipy, just a really good time. Another one that is fun, juicy. I could not stop reading this book. I did not want to put it down. Another one I did on audio, but I was like pacing around my house during one of the scenes and I was just like talking out loud to this book. Like, don't you dare. No, thank you. I had like physical reactions to this book, and that is One to Watch by Kate Stayman London. You guys, this book is fantastic. This follows a plus size woman who is a fashion blogger in LA, and she watches this show called Main Squeeze that is like basically a Bachelor type show. And she has a lot of feedback for this show during one of the episodes and gets a little drunk, and she starts live tweeting about the show while it's happening. And that gets her a lot of attention because she has a lot of criticism about the fact that there's no plus size representation on these shows ever, and not enough diversity in general either. So she gets a lot of attention for that, to the point where the show producers reach out to her and ask her to be the next Bachelorette basically on this show. And so she does it, and she goes in there with 100% zero expectations to actually find anybody. She just wanted to kind of get her name out there and like kind of prove that, this is why these things don't work and all that. However, of course, she's actually going to form some really strong relationships here. And a lot of things end up surprising her, both good and bad. And you guys, like, I really, truly could not stop listening to this book. It's really, really well written. There were things that were happening that I just didn't even take into account. There's a lot of online commentary, like fan commentary throughout here as well after each episode, which I thought was really interesting. There's a lot of really good commentary on appearance and body image and the way other people view you and the audacity that other people think they have the right to give you their opinion. But at the same time, you're putting yourself out there. So that's almost to be expected. Like, it was really good commentary on all that stuff. I thought it was fantastic. I loved the characters. Again, I was like yelling out loud in my house, pacing around my house during the end of one of these episodes. If you've read it, you probably know exactly which episode I'm talking about. But I was just like doing laps around my house, like, So I loved it. Fantastic. So much fun. You can get through it really quickly. Again, I did not want to stop listening to it when I was doing it. So yeah, definitely bingeable. And the last one is actually going to be an author. And this is definitely my bingeable author. When she comes out with a book, I get it. And when I pick it up, I do not ever want to put her books down. Ever. I have always picked up one of her books and just flown through it. It's just something that I do. That happens. And that's Colleen Hoover. I grabbed this one because it was on the top of my stack and it is one of my favorites. But I love Colleen's books because they are surprisingly complicated, but presented in a way that's so easy to digest. And it makes you feel things you did not realize you felt or didn't think about in a specific way. So she presents things really interestingly and makes me think about things in a different way, which I really enjoy. And I just really, really like her writing. So not only would I recommend Colleen, but I would also recommend just any one of your comfort authors, because she's a comfort author for me. So anyone that when you pick up one of their books, you're just going to devour it. Grab one of those books by that author and like binge read it this holiday season. So Colleen is that for me. If you haven't read one of hers, I would definitely recommend her books to you if you're interested. This is one of my favorites, November 9. I also really liked It Ends With Us. That's probably my number one favorite, but that is a much deeper topic matter. It does deal with domestic abuse. So it's a much darker topic in that one. That one is probably my favorite one, but this one's a little bit lighter. And I think I read this one in a day as well, almost in one sitting type thing. But yeah, so Colleen Hoover or your favorite. Okay, guys, that is going to be it for me today. So those are some books that I would recommend that are really good bingeable books that you can just fly through and really enjoy and just get lost in the stories. And I hope that you pick some of them up this holiday season, or pick up something that you can really just sink your teeth into and read quickly and enjoy your vacations. Please head over to Lindsey's channel today and see what books she's recommending for this. And we will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.